You're listening to Evergreen Media Network. I am Cindy Schwartz, and this is the Patient Partner Show. We are a podcast on Spreaker, and we are distributed on its platforms, Deezer, Spotify, all of those, so look us up there. We are also broadcast on iHeartRadio worldwide, so look us up on that as well. The three segments that we're doing on this podcast now are about breast implants and different stories. We have three different women on. Previous podcast, Dee HIcks was on talking about what she did and why she had implants. They were elective surgery. We have Roxanne Vermeland on today. She is in Arizona, so it's all over the country. I'm in Florida. Jeannie Roller, my co-host, has given the time slot to these ladies. So kudos to you, Jeannie. And Jeannie, this was your topic, and I thank you for doing that. She does so much work for me and for the listeners. Roxanne, you are in Arizona. You had breast cancer. You felt like you were pushed into getting these implants to, resurrect your body or, recondition your body or whatever. It did not have, as many people talk about, Jeannie and I talk about it all the time, not enough information. And you had textured implants in about 2013 after you had the breast cancer and also chemotherapy, so you had to wait for that. And then you went on to have unbelievable side effects from all of this and had the explant surgery and are also, as Dee HIcks is, a spokesperson or in conjunction with the FDA trying to get some information out for women. And I thank you for that. I cannot believe these stories. They need to be told. And they are going to be told. We're going to post these wherever we can. So, Roxanne, it's great to have you on. Thank you so much. And what do you want to talk about with this? It's just horrendous to hear it.
Well, thank you, Cindy, for having me on today. I really appreciate you and Jeannie doing this for us. I wanted to share my story on getting breast implants resulting with a diagnosis of BIA-ALCL, which is breast implant associated anaplastic large cell lymphoma.
Okay.
This is a type of lymphoma that can develop mostly around textured breast implants. And this is a cancer of the immune system, not a breast cancer. The symptoms could be like a rash, itching, lump in the breast, and large node or mass, a large fluid collection around the implant. Most physicians haven't even heard of it, and those that have think it's too rare to get, which is wrong because they don't want to test for it.
Mm-hmm.
I can start by saying I was diagnosed in November 2012 with bilateral breast cancer.
Okay.
And I needed to have bilateral mastectomies and chemotherapy for 6 months. And my oncologist right away directed me to a plastic surgeon for breast implants. And all I was thinking about is if I would live or die at this point.
Right.
You just go to the plastic surgeon.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me he would make me beautiful again as if I were a project of his. And I was going to end up ugly, with no breasts after surgery. And my husband asked if they can cause cancer. And he said, no, we trusted him. And, we chose Mentor implants, smooth implants. And after multiple surgeries to correct the placement in 8 months, I asked for them to be removed. I was going flat. I was done, but he wasn't. He had what I was told was a new Allergan textured breast implant that stayed in plates. And they did not cause cancer and insisted I try these out. And this was in 2014. And I decided to do it because, he's told me they don't cause cancer. And one more try. I said, one last thing and I'm done. And then, so I went 4 years with these with having symptoms of cancer that he didn't diagnose me with. I kept having rashes, itching all over, fluid drained around the implant, fatigue, anxiety, brain fog.
Yeah.
And in 2018, one night, my left implant grew twice the size of my right. And I went to see my plastic surgeon the next day, and he said I looked fine. And thankfully, I Googled my symptoms on the internet before I saw him. I told him, I think I have this BIA-ALCL. He said, that's so rare you don't have it. And I insisted on an MRI to see if fluid was there.
Yeah. And
of course there was. And so he ordered it to be aspirated and tested for the CD30. And that's a test to rule out that cancer, BIA-ALCL.
Okay.
And then one later, while I was waiting for my results, I went into septic shock. And they rushed me into surgery while I was fighting for my life to remove the implant with a series of bacterial infections.
Right.
In the capsule. And I was in ICU for a week. And the plastic surgeon, who didn't believe me, I had it cut 4 sections from the capsule that the implant sits in instead of removing the entire capsule. And total incompetency on his part, because if I have the cancer, chances are it's going to spread. Okay. And so I was in tears when I woke up after that surgery.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that would be the least thing that happened to you. I mean, I'm not trying to be facetious, but I mean, the stories are unbelievable. Again, not getting enough information. Does the surgeon have that kind of information? I can't talk for him. I don't want to talk for him. I mean, and these shows are all genie roller, in my opinion. We're not doctors. We're not lawyers, anything like that. We just listen to what the people tell us. And it's one story after another, sadly. But how are you doing today? Yeah. How do you feel today with all of this?
Well, I'm still, I've had like multiple, like 23. I'm just doing my 24th PET scan next month. Okay. I've had 24 PET scans, 8 biopsies, wow. Or 8 surgeries and 13 biopsies. This is never ending for me. I had to fly to Rome to learn about my cancer, because where there was having their first world conference back in 2019 on this, where their scientists, pathologies, and I had to learn about it because nobody knew about this cancer, how to treat it, and they just want to shove chemo, any kind of chemo, and try to get you to work, do it. And I came back from Rome. After coming back from Rome at the end of 2019, I had my next PET scan a month later, and I was diagnosed stage 4. It had spread through all my clavicles, my mammary nodes, and my lungs, and they gave me a year to live. And I asked MD Anderson, because I'd been traveling between Mayo and MD Anderson, if they would do what I learned about the treatment in Rome. Yeah. And because they did, they agreed to do it. They took it to the medical board, and they said yes, they would do it. I'm on their website now for working with a patient for a cure. Yeah. Because after 7 treatments of brentuximab, I was in remission from that. Okay. But I'm still going for my 3-month PET scans. Right. Yeah. Well, I moved them to 6. And just in March, I went for my scan, and they found a mass behind my right eye. Okay. This is just a never-ending cancer, this lymphoma. Right. Once you get it, they say you're cured if they get the capsule and everything out when you're first diagnosed, capsule with the implant, they say you're cured. There's no way, and no cancer is cured once I don't know how they say that, but there's no way. You're cured.
Well, I think every person, every person's different. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. So we have like a minute and a half left. I want you to, Roxanne, if you want to give out information for other people that are listening to this, what would be your advice to them on either the implants, or if they have implants, what they should do?
Yeah, what I want women to know is you have a choice when it comes to breast implants. Do your research, check the FDA website. There's a black box warning on every single implant made. There's over 200,000 women sick with breast implant illness. There's at least 1,700 women diagnosed with BIA-ALCL and 67 women dead from it. And plastic surgeons still aren't informed. If they tell you that that's rare, you need to see a different plastic surgeon and get your implants taken out and tested for the CD30. And if you have the allergen textured implants, they were recalled because a bunch of us, Dee included, went in front of the FDA, and 20 of us got to speak. I was one of them. And we got the allergen breast implants recalled. Those, if you have those in your body, you need to get them out. Okay. FDA says wait until you're symptomatic, but no, you need to get them out. And I do have a Facebook page and that I can give you, and also a group, BIA-ALCL Global Awareness Patient-Clinician site. I have a story on YouTube. You can reach me at roxvermeland.com. And lastly, there's a book called The Toxic Truth, written by Marci Nettles, on Amazon. Okay. 11 women share their stories on breast implants. I'm chapter 8, where you can read my full story, because we need plastic surgeons to inform their patients about implants.
Okay. On that note, stay listening to Evergreen Media Network.